Conviction is what comes after you've wrestled through the doubts, and God has worked in your life through the Holy Spirit to convince you of the absolute truth of something.
When I think of the word conviction, I think of ideas about believing something, but believing something with strength.
Firmly believing in Jesus and holding true to his word.
With conviction, I would say that it's really like a very deeply rooted understanding that is given to us through the Spirit. And with that conviction, we know without a doubt, in both our mind and our hearts, in all things, that Christ is who he is and he has done what he has in our lives. And so regardless of any kind of doubts that we may face, we have deeply rooted in our sense of identity, our sense of self, that this is what we truly believe.
And if I am sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is a hell to shun, as already is said often, I'm going to be preaching in a totally different way than if I don't believe that it exists, right? It exists, and we believe that as a church. We see it in the Bible, and we can point to places in the Bible where hell exists, where Jesus talks more than anyone else about hell, and that this informs our tone, right? Which would be our conviction, where we're imploring people in strong ways: be reconciled to Jesus. You need him. I know you need him. I know he's reliable.
Proclaiming Jesus Christ with conviction. Conviction is critical whenever we think about the gospel. There's few things as distasteful as lukewarm Christianity. It's a sense where this abstract faith has lost the stakes of the gospel. And so central to our vision is this idea of conviction. It's a biblical idea. When Paul is writing in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 20, he says, we are ambassadors of Christ, he says, and we implore you, be reconciled to God. A church that lacks conviction is one that's not clear of the gospel and its stakes. That's why in Colossians chapter 1, Paul also says, for this reason I struggle and I toil with all of the energy that God has made available to me and through me, that you might come to Christ. When we return to the stakes of the gospel, both personally and in terms of how we share the gospel, it brings new life to our walk with the Lord. We find a deep sense of conviction that the gospel really matters for us and truly is the power of God unto salvation for all who believe.